April 8th, out of nowhere, Donald Trump announces a ceasefire. But just before that, cities were being bombed, missiles lighting up the skies, and lives were being lost on both sides. And while the world focused on the destruction, a bigger question was quietly unfolding. Who actually won the war? What if I say not USA, not Iran, but someone else won without actually doing anything? So without any time waste, let's delve into parties who actually won the war.
The first beneficiary is Russia. In February 2026, Russia's economy was in the doldrums largely due to the ongoing war with Ukraine, which led to a high revenue deficit. The target deficit was $5.7 billion, and by February 2026, it had already reached $5.4 billion. However, the situation changed when the United States attacked Iran in February 2026, bombing cities, oil fields, and reportedly killing Iran's supreme leader, and in response, Iran started attacking and closed the Strait of Hormuz, halting 20% of global oil transport. This created a major shortage of crude oil worldwide, pushing oil prices to above $100 per barrel. On top of that, U.S. granted waivers to dependent countries like India, allowing them to continue buying Russia oil for 30 days. As a result, Russia began earning around $150 million per day, amounting to approximately $4.9 billion by the end of March. India alone was buying 30 million barrels per week, according to reports. Another advantage for Russia is strategic. While the USA is heavily engaged in Iran, Russia faces less pressure and fewer immediate concerns about sanctions or NATO intervention. Recent reports suggest that Russia is gaining ground in Ukraine. For example, claims of full control over Luhansk and advances toward Donbas. Casualties reported in cities like Odessa due to drone attacks. The second beneficiary of USA-Iran war is China. While the United States is engaged in conflict with Iran, its attention and resources are tied up. This creates a strategic distraction, meaning the U.S. is less focused on regions like Taiwan and the South China Sea. During this time, China is more likely to focus on construction and expansion rather than direct confrontation. War also brings sanctions, and sanctions often lead to discounted oil. China already imports around 10% of its oil from Iran, especially through smaller teapot refineries. In times of war, Iran is likely to sell oil even more cheaply, giving China a significant economic advantage. Another key benefit is that China often buys oil in yuan instead of dollars. This helps strengthen its currency and reduces dependence on the U.S. financial system. At the same time, while the U.S. is occupied with conflict, China, having already signed a $400 billion agreement with Iran. China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, also stands to gain as instability can increase. Iran's reliance on Chinese investment and connectivity projects. Finally, China positions itself as a global peacemaker, promoting stability, trade, and cooperation, while the U.S. is seen as being involved in conflict. This contrast helps China build a more positive global image. And the last beneficiary are defense firms. A single Patriot missile costs up to $4 million. A THAAD interceptor? Around $12 million. Modern warfare burns money at an unbelievable rate. U.S. military spending has nearly doubled since 2000. Now, President Donald Trump has proposed a $1.5 trillion defense budget for 2027, while cutting non-defense spending by 10%. This money flows directly into companies like Lockheed Martin, RTX, and Boeing. Lockheed provides F-35 fighters, RTX supplies Tomahawk missiles, and Boeing builds F/A-18 jets. The recent war has skyrocketed the stock prices of these companies. These are some of the biggest defense contractors in the world. And this is a list of their revenue, and that adds up to $2.5 billion, which is larger than the GDP of 150 countries. Only about 45 nations have economies bigger than the defense market. During the 5 years from 2020 to 2024, the U.S. government invested over $771 billion, twice as much money in 5 weapons companies as in diplomacy and international assistance, which is $356 billion. Pentagon contracts went to just 5 firms. Lockheed Martin, $313 billion. RTX, formerly Raytheon, $145 billion. Boeing, Boeing $115 billion, General Dynamics $116 billion, and Northrop Grumman $81 billion. This is a screenshot of live reporting from Operation Epic Fury. Billions consumed in days, fueling contractor profits. War isn't just fought on battlefields, it's fought in balance sheets. For defense giants, every conflict is profit. $1.5 trillion for defense. Who really benefits? Not just the nations that fight, but the industries that grow with conflict. Because behind every war, there's a system. If you want to understand how that system works, subscribe to GeoSense.